Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and this is going to be the third of what I promise, well, I can't promise, but I'm going to hope is the last video I talk and do my rant about stats and stats on soccer stats that are available to us. This is not this is not a knock against football reference. Put my phone on vibrate so it doesn't call. It's not a knock against FBref. This is not a knock against who scored. It's not a knock against any of the sites that are out there. It is just I've just come to that realization that there's bad data. But first, I got to tell a bit of a story. So I had my Hook 'em Horns shirt on last video, and I didn't do the shout out. So I'm going to do a shout out to the University of Texas. The story is, I may have told this already. Uh, my daughter, when she was younger, she was a travel softball player, was very, very good, and was being recruited to go play in college and recruited by a lot of different schools. So one of them, the one I wanted her to go to, was University of Texas, and so that was my first choice for her to go to. They came, they watched her play. I went down there and visited the coach, watched Kat Osterman pitch when she was down there, but it just turned, they didn't need a catcher for her year. So they had a catcher from the year before her and the year after her. They didn't need one for her year. One of her really close friends that played travel ball with her for a while ended up being one of the pitchers there, but it just didn't work out. So, anyways, I'm a fan of Texas, always has been. But what's funny about that story is when we started the recruiting process, the one school that I didn't want her to go to was the University of Notre Dame. So I was not a Notre Dame fan, and I didn't say, I don't care where you go, just don't go there. Where did she end up going? Notre Dame. So, and it worked out great. She really loved her time there. That's a fantastic school. We went on several recruiting trips. One of the best ones was Oklahoma. That was an amazing trip. Um, I mean UCLA. We went to Fresno State wanted her. We went up the coast to Santa Barbara and some different schools here. Illinois wanted her, and so there's a lot of schools that wanted her. But when we went to Notre Dame, when we visited there, we went on the campus, and it was like right away, this is where I want to go. So, and it's magical. That is just, if you have not been there, it's an amazing, amazing campus. And if you have been there, then you know what I'm talking about. It's truly magical. So she did go to the University of Notre Dame. She had one good year. She got hurt her freshman year, and that impacted her. She got hurt her junior year, and that impacted her. Her sophomore year was good. Her senior year, they had a catcher. I think she ended up being like one of the All American players. She was really good, and she just was a better hitter than my daughter. But my daughter still, after all this time, she graduated 2012. She is still the career fielding percentage leader for that school. So she was a very good catcher. She had a cannon. She was really good. Not the best hitter. That's my fault. I kind of screwed her up. But no, that's my Texas and why I have Texas gear in my Notre Dame story. So back to the stats. Again, not a knock against the FA reference. They're receiving their stats from someone else, from stat collectors. I just think ultimately that the statistics in soccer, football, European, they're just not good. They're not, because the game is fluid, maybe. It's funny. I just received a book today. There's a book that was just put out, how Retro Sheet saved the history of baseball. And you look at that, you look at baseball and the stats that are available on Retro Sheet, what they've done, and Retro Sheet or Baseball Reference gets feeds from Retro Sheet. All the data, amazing data, and it's accurate and it all lines up, and it's really good. And you look at, and that is our culture. And we get football stats, which are good, and we get basketball stats, which is pretty fluid, which are good, but the soccer stats just aren't. I know the game is fluid, and it's not a sport that has a statistically driven history, and that might be part of it. But what really gets me now is these games. They're all on TV. They're all available somewhere to be watched, and they're all recorded. why don't you just go back? Why don't you have someone go back after and correct the stats? I just, it doesn't seem like it would be that difficult to me to have someone track it real time, which they do. If you go and you watch a game and you're on WhoScored.com, they have real time stats that are going. But once that game ends, boom, they're done, and they walk away, and they don't go back and fix anything and don't edit anything. And I don't know. I think the stats that we got from Opta were better than the stats that we're getting on FB reference now. So I don't think it was as big of a deal last year. I had formulas in place for some of the lesser leagues that worked, that seemed like they worked. And when I tried to apply those formulas to the Belgium set, it didn't line up. And so then I went on like I said on the last one, I went down the rabbit hole. And I've been down the rabbit hole on this one deep. Um, Thought it was goal line clearances, and it lined up for a couple teams. Like, okay, I made assumptions, and you can't make assumptions. Maybe it's penalty kicks. No, it's not. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. And so, well, is it how bad is it for all the leagues? And you look at some of the big leagues, the big five European leagues, and they line up. So I can get them to line up. The numbers don't, like shots on target for players and shots on target face for keepers don't line up. But if you take out the penalties for the players, now they do. So you see that the penalties count for player stats, but they don't count for keeper stats. And I think before on the detailed stats, it was the opposite kind of a thing. So all the formulas that I referenced now no longer work. And I have to really kind of, when I go to create sets, check them. So I checked a couple. I checked La Liga. I checked the Premier League. And I said, well, I checked MLS. And MLS, so what Belgium was is players had more shots on target than the goalies faced. MLS was opposite, and by a lot. And I started looking, and I posted this. Brad Guzin gets a save when there's no shot. And, there's a play, and Josh, who post a lot on here, went back and watched the game. And there's a play. The ball comes in, it hits off of a defender and goes towards the goal, and Guzan dives away and knocks it away. But that's not a save if there's no shot. And the rules, there are rules. I looked that up. There are rules. It's not a save if there's not a shot. And you shouldn't get credit for a shot on target unless it's going to go in the goal or it's stopped by the keeper or a player on the line. So that's what a shot on target is defined as. So there are rules, there are definitions, but they aren't followed. And I think in the heat of the battle, if someone's tracking this and you're trying to track stats for a soccer game that you're watching on video, it moves fast. It can move fast. Hockey moves fast too. I couldn't manage that, but there's only 5 players, so they change all the time. Anyways, it moves fast. So maybe they mark something. Oh, that's a save, and they didn't see it before. Well, go back and fix it. Go back later and fix it. There credits for own goals and team players getting credits for shots on own goals and all this stuff. And there wasn't a shot, but there's an own goal. But then they got credit for a shot at some point, and it's bad. So, what does it all mean? Well, if I can get the big 5 leagues to line up, those are the ones that are played the most, and that's fine. I'll have those. They're going to be good. But I basically am going to, and I look, what are we talking about here? Ultimately, it's about 1 to 1.5% of the shots on target. That's a small number. It bothers me. It really does. And to my core, I want this to be as accurate as possible. But who am I to say what is to change to make it accurate versus not? So I've made a decision. I'll do research on it and see if I can figure out what it is. But I'm going to go with what the stats say. And the stats don't make sense. Understand that. But I don't want to be in a position where I say, well, this guy should get an extra shot on target, or this guy's save percentage is going to be a little bit higher, and move it around. I've got to go with what the numbers are telling me they say. So, and I made a joke that's giving me a stomach ache. It kind of is. It's stressing me out. It's eating to me at the core that these numbers are wrong, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. And so I did check the Australia League, which is next, and Liga MX. Those are both next, and they're off, and it's not a lot. And again, if you look at the grand scheme of things, it's about 1 to 1.3%. That's not a huge number. It's still not what I like, but it's not a huge number. So I was like, okay, I have to let myself be okay with um, a bit of the statistical inaccuracy and be okay with that. The other thing that does though is I had made some changes to the keeper cards and put gold line clearances on there. Well, it was apparent that gold line clearances wasn't what was causing this, so I removed that. What I'm going to do, I also moved the P plus back over to the on side. I just like it better there. It looks better there. Uh, it fits better. I don't have to abbreviate the word counter when I do that, which is what I had to do. It all fits. It just looks good. So the P pluses are going to go onto the on target side, and I did some work to figure out how many. What is a so a P plus on a player card? It isn't the same as a P plus on a keeper card. So hear me out on this. So a player is available to have X amount of rolls per game. They're going to average X amount of rolls per game. And in that, if you have a P plus, you're going to get X amount of percentage of those rolls are going to be a chance for P plus. Well, keepers are only going to face so many shots, and they're not going to get a chance at 271 rolls divided by 20. It's not 13. It's not going to be 13 rolls per player. They're going to get maybe 4 on target or 8 off target, in that range. So the range for the keeper will be a little bit higher than it will be for a regular player. That's just to increase the chance that they get a P plus. We're not talking drastic thing. This keeper has a range of 3, so there's a 3% chance on a shot on target that they're going to get a P plus. P plus is not a guarantee of a goal, so that just gives them a chance to get an assist. So that's really it. That is my summary of the stats are crazy. They're all over the place. And for now, have to accept that. I do think we took a step back. I think we took a step back in accuracy when Opta pulled their stats. And that's too bad because there are things they could do to not have certain stats available so people can't monetize on it and that's all I could guess is people were scraping data and trying to monetize it. And that's why when you go to Football Reference, they do "Are you a human?" and verifying that you're actually a person and you're not a machine. And they hide the stats behind layers to make you go down and get it. That's why they were doing it, so to try to prevent people from writing scripts to go out and pull it. But Opta believed that it was still happening, or maybe they're really fast and they get it like me. I don't know. Just kidding. So that's it. It is too bad, and I hope that we can move to a point where the stats get accurate. But I'm going to continue making the game as accurate as I can, make the sets as accurate as I can, knowing that I have to be okay with a little bit of inaccuracy. It's still pretty close. The game's still going to be a lot of fun to play. It's still going to be good. And hey, maybe your team will benefit. Maybe your team will actually benefit from bad stats and be better than they should be. So maybe that'll help for Manchester United next year. That's it. So I just wanted to wrap it up. I want to wrap up this trilogy of rants. And if you guys have any questions, you can message me on the Delphi forums. You can leave a comment. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. I think the next videos that I do in this are going to be games, but we're getting close. What are we in April? May is going to end, and the Premier League is going to come out, and they're going to start seeing maybe a big replay for me. We'll see. So I'm kind of leaning that way, unless United tanks and it pisses me off. I don't want to play it, but it could be a good year to replay. Everyone's really close, so it could be tight. That's it. I hope you guys have a good evening. Have a good holiday weekend. Stay safe. And I will catch you on the next video, whether it's going to be Net Results Soccer or another game. But take care, and I will see you in the near future. All right. Good night.